this is Dale Jr., and you're listening to Dirty Mo Radio.
I love you, Mom.
She's one of the most influential women in NASCAR.
I love my mom.
My sister Kelley always has my back.
I couldn't be prouder of my daughter.
I love my wife, Kelley. She's my best friend.
Welcome to this week's Fastlane Family, brought to you by Bedhead by TG. You can get Bedhead by TG products at your local Ulta store, and you can also visit Ulta.com and enter TG15 and save 15% on your favorite TG stylers at checkout. I'm happy to have them as a sponsor of our show, and I'm so excited to welcome Krissie Newman, who's on time today for my show. Yay. We're joking when she was on a couple years ago that she had road rage on the way here, and yeah, I'm surprised you were on time too with race traffic. You know, it's like crazy week this week.
I finally figured out where I'm going.
It's not that hard.
Me being on time, anybody that I'm a good 10 minutes late most of the time.
Yeah. So Krissie, as most of you know, her better half.
Yeah.
You want to say that?
My other half.
Your other half.
Yeah.
I think you make him pretty good. NASCAR driver Ryan Newman and mom to Brooklyn and Ashlyn. And we're going to talk about Rescue Ranch today, co-founder of Rescue Ranch. Look at there. We've already got a Ryan Newman fan in here.
I love it.
Yay. Awesome. Good stuff. So on our first show, you know, we went through the whole meeting Ryan and all that good story, and the good story about meeting, you met Ryan in church and all that stuff. And so I was just looking at those notes and all, and you've been married 12 years. Is it 12 years this year? Have you already celebrated your wedding anniversary?
Yes. January.
Yeah.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm a strong woman.
I know. So that's what I was going to ask you. So what is the secret to this healthy 12-year marriage?
Communication.
2 kids in the NASCAR world.
Communication on everything. I mean, we were just talking before we put the headsets on. You know, I drive him nuts. He drives me nuts. But, you know, it's life, and we've got a mutual respect, and we communicate a lot. And I think that's a big deal, is just don't stop communicating.
And further to that, the communication needs to be productive, right?
Yes.
I mean, you can communicate in a lot of ways.
Well, we have a lot of arguments that I don't feel like are productive, but I think we've known how many boundaries we can push. And when we're firm on something, it's...
Yeah. And you have that respect so that you don't go overboard in terms of maybe the way you maybe perceive the other way person feels or whatever. You can just like put it out on the table and be honest.
And we're on the same page about discipline and the kids, and you know, he's got a lot of things going on, so he's very forgetful. So
I know that. I know that about him. Exactly. Yes. We're going to talk about that forgetfulness. Ryan and I were communicating about this milkshake that he owed me, and so we were going to take a little visit up to Rescue Ranch, and I can't believe that I, you know, still after a couple years have not got there. And I even offered to say, did you want me to text Krissie working on a date? And he said, oh no, I can multitask. I've got this. And like days and days went by. The weekend went by. And I said that because I think it was a Friday and he was at the race. Yeah. And so, I knew that could be difficult. I would think that it, you know, would be something that he would just want me and you to talk about. Mm-hmm. And, So, the next week came, and I guess, you know, he texted me the day of, and he's like, y'all still coming up this afternoon? I'm like, I never heard back from you, and I've got something else going on. Yeah. He's like, you double booked me. Yes, so we made it work, though, so we're going to talk about that. But, yeah. I was also wondering, have you guys been back to Jackson Hole? Because you went there on your honeymoon, and LW and I went there. Is the reason I asked. I loved it there.
Oh yes, we've tried to go back a couple times. Went horseback riding with some friends, and a lot of times on the West Coast swing, we'll try and pick different places. But that place is just, I could pick up and move there and not be upset about it. It's just beautiful. Any time of year you go, it's just great.
And the wildlife and animals that you see there. I mean, is that part of the attraction for y'all when you chose to go there or not?
Part of it. I mean, we like the mountains. Yeah. I don't like to be cold, so the winters would be rough after a couple of weeks. But I don't know. There's just, you know, it's just beautiful. The nature, and it's just a place I could see myself in the future. There's not much I could say bad about it.
Yeah. There's something about, like, just the rolling hills and the mountains and everything. Like, we were just in Ohio this past weekend, and you know, it's different than Jackson Hole, obviously, but still, that country, the winding roads, the view in the mountains, and just that good country setting.
And a simple life. Yeah. Like, it's just simple.
Yeah.
We watch those wilderness Alaskan shows.
Yeah, we do too.
I'm like, that looks so nice and simple. I don't think I could do it because
we like to be busy.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I think they're very busy when they're doing it.
Yeah.
I don't like to be cold, so for long periods of time, I can't see myself trekking through the snow, you know, multiple days for a long period of time. But just simple life. It's
Yeah.
it's nice to get away from the hustle and the bustle and just kind of quiet down a little bit.
Yeah. Do you like the beach pretty good?
Yeah, we
Tropical,
always
yeah.
joke that if we ever had to, move to an island, it would have to be like mountainous and snowy on one side and then beautiful Caribbean Sea on the other.
I wonder where that is.
I have no idea, but if you find it, let me know.
I was gonna say you might have to invent that. Yeah, well, that's cool. So you like it's kind of the best of both worlds. I hate packing for cold trips.
Yes.
Yeah. I like to dress for winter,
Mhm.
because I like wearing sweaters and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I hate packing for
I
those kind of
agree.
trips. I have to
It's
take-
multiple suitcases.
Yes, I can't fit everything that I need in there. So
And then he has to carry them.
I'm sure he doesn't mind doing that.
So he's got, good muscle.
Got the
strength.
guns. Yeah.
Carrying
So
my
you guys,
backpack.
Brooklyn and Ashlyn, they're
Mhm.
growing up on us fast.
I know.
Almost 6. So
We start kindergarten in the
I know. Does
fall.
Brooklyn? Does she say is she on the half yet? So is she 5.5, or does she care about that
No,
yet?
she doesn't. She doesn't really know about the half stuff
Yeah,
yet.
good.
No, she's 16 in her mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she starts kindergarten. We talked about the schooling when we were together. I found that's so interesting. What was it called again? The dual
Dual immersion.
And
Yes.
the fact that they're even offering that in the countryside is just amazing to
I
me.
know.
I mean, it sounds like something that you would see in the city in terms of, the dual immersion is you learn in Spanish essentially,
It's
which
the
I think
kindergarten.
is
90% Spanish, 10% English, but all
Yeah.
the content is still taught, but it's just taught in Spanish.
it is so fascinating. It's so
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah. By the time she's in 5th grade, she should be reading, writing, and speaking fluent Spanish.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think you need it this day and age.
Oh,
The
you
world is changing,
absolutely.
And I took Spanish, middle school, high school, and maybe I can order my dinner.
Right. I can pick out words. I
Right.
took French mainly, and then a little Spanish.
Yeah.
But I can only kind of pick it apart. I certainly can't speak it.
Well, it's fantastic. We were looking at schools. We went into this particular school, and the kids come up and greet you. And if it was a Spanish dual immersion classroom, they come up and greet you in Spanish and all of their stuff. And you're just like, oh my gosh, these little people are just,
Yeah.
they're little sponges.
Yeah.
It's amazing what they pick up
Yeah.
on.
Carson started preschool when she was 2 years old, and they had Spanish and all these extra computers and all this kind of stuff. And it is phenomenal, just the things that she was talking about then. And we had a boat at the time, and she named it Rojo because it had a red stripe around it. I'm like, how ingenious,
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's gonna be a big change for your lifestyle of having. They're in
Yeah.
preschool now, I know, but you get to kind of in preschool we can be a little flexible
Yes.
on their schedule.
Well, the travel's already been a little more difficult towards the end of the year. The sports and the different activities they're now
Yeah.
getting in, it's been harder for us to get to a full weekend at the racetrack. So we've missed quite a bit the last couple months. Now it's nice because Charlotte is here,
Yeah.
so we get to spend some time at home. But
Yeah.
yeah, travel's going to be a little different for us in the
Yeah.
fall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It will.
I started looking at the calendar and trying to, do our calendar because, in the fall we like to take a trip, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, there's not.
We're only out this many
She's
days
got-
at school.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can only have, I think it's 10.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is going to be tough.
And the fact of that too is, for the most part, schools sort of follow similar calendars, so you're going to be on, you're going to be on trips with everyone else that's out of school at the same time.
Yeah.
So every place is busy.
And I love crowds, so this is going to be a lot of fun. I'll go to Jackson Hole. It's just, we can get out in the wilderness.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. So Brooklyn, she actually, she's not racing, but she's tootled around with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan sent me some videos.
She's got the bug.
Yeah.
I'm
She's
a little nervous.
got some pretty good control about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just gets in and goes.
Yeah.
Ashlyn, not so much. she's kind of on slow-mo, but yeah, Brooklyn's, she's got it. And
Yeah, Ashlyn's just kind of like there in the sense of happy-go-lucky, just going along with, the flow. When we were having dinner that night, she's just like, yeah, this is cool. I'm here.
yeah, she's like that across the board. But when we got them little go-karts and put cones out in the driveway,
Yeah.
and they kind of go on the driveway. In Brooklyn, she was on like the low setting for about half a second, and then she figured out how to make it go faster. And she can corner, and Ryan's like, look how close she gets to the cone and doesn't hit it, and she's really constant. I'm like, oh my word,
It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
what's wrong with swimming or soccer?
Yeah. Oh, you're born in a racing family. That's what's wrong.
Yeah. And he knows like what to look for. And
Yeah.
Ashlyn's more like me. She can get in and go and just be like, content with that. And
Yeah.
doesn't need to go any faster. She's completely fine.
So has Brooklyn raised her hand to say, hey, maybe I want to do this somewhere else besides the driveway? Or She pretty content with that, okay?
No, she's been content with it so far. She already asked if we can make it go faster, so we'll see what she gets. I don't know. I'm just, ugh.
It's nuts. Out where the kids race at Millbridge, there's a class called a cadets, and it's 3 and 4-year-olds. And to think, I mean, you know, I have a 4-year-old, and I'm like, he can't do that, you know?
Yeah.
They can do it.
Ryan put her in his old quarter midget in his parents' driveway, and she was already wheeling it the very first time without even knowing, like, any coaching or anything. And he's like, oh, she's loving this quarter midget. I'm like, Mom's not.
Yeah. And, of course, Ryan's loving it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's different, like, watching him race and then watching your child race. Cause,
it is totally different. Yeah.
And I'm sure Kim Burton's going through that with Harrison.
Yeah.
And I just, oh, my gosh.
I think for me, too, watching Carson race, and, you know, she's 15, it's more like at our younger ones' ages, it's more about the fun and, you know, going out and doing it and that kind of thing. And then, like, Carson's, you know, wants to be serious about it. And then I think about the business side of racing and not just the business, but that there's so many people that want to do it and it's very few make it to the top level, you know.
It's
and
so competitive.
as a mom, that's when it gets in my way for my kid. Is like, I don't want them to go through that hurt and disappointment and that kind of thing. Like, are you sure that that's what you want to do?
We should have a backup plan.
Yeah. And then I'll tell her, I'm like, you know, honey, it's just so hard. And she's like, do you not think I can do it? Do you not think I can do it? I'm like, no, that's not what I'm trying to say. You know, I just know that's really hard. So yeah.
It's a different life too. It's definitely, once you go down that path, you're all in.
But hey, all the drivers that are there, they've went through the same thing, and they're there, and you don't know what you don't know at, you know, those young ages of getting involved in stuff.
Brooklyn's the type, though, where if somebody spins out, she's going to stop her car and be like, are you okay? Like, do you need
she's
anything?
the helper.
Yeah, she is. I mean, she's competitive, but she's going to stop and check on you, too. So I don't know how well that'll go.
Oh, God, that's awesome.
She'll be getting out of a race car with a lot of fines.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that you and Ryan are on the same page from a parenting standpoint. What's that look like for you guys from your discipline? Or
I am definitely more strict because I'm home with them more often. Yeah. So I would say I'm definitely the one that's laying down the rules. But he does discipline them when they're misbehaving. And we're big on manners. You know, they always say thank you and you know, Miss Kelley and that kind of thing. But you know, they're good kids. We're pretty lucky. You know, Brooklyn, she's got her mom's temper, so I think the teenage years are going to be a little rough. The positions might change, but for the most part, you know, if Ryan takes something away or tells her she can't do something, I'm going to respect that, and vice versa. So.
Yeah, well, you definitely have to do that as parents. Even if you disagree, you can't disagree in front of the kids, and you can't create that inconsistency in their minds, you know.
I usually give him a look. In the beginning, it was tough because he would take these rules and make these things, and I was like, you can't put that kind of you can't ground them for like a month. They don't know what a month is. Like, you can't take things away. You just can't go to the 10th degree on something. You have to kind of do steps. So that's kind of tough for him.
I'm probably the softer one in my family between LW and I. And when he travels, you know, sometimes Wyatt, like, LW's all about, like, you know, it's 9 o'clock, and if bedtime's 9 o'clock, but like the night we went out with you guys, you know, we were a little later than bedtime after we got done visiting the ranch, and we all ate dinner, and then we got our milkshakes. We're feeding our kids milkshakes at 9 o'clock at night.
Oops.
It's
almost summer.
But so I'm of the belief, like, his routine is like we always watch a little television show, you know, we brush our teeth or whatever. And so even if it's past bedtime, I like to stick with the routine because that's what he's used to, you know. And so when he's out of town, you know, sometimes we might sneak in an extra TV show. But then he always tells on me. Yeah. He's like, Mom, let me watch 2 shows, not 1. I'm like, that was a special treat, buddy.
You're not supposed to say that. I gave you the look.
You're not supposed to tell.
Oh, there's no getting away with anything in our household. Our kids can't keep a secret.
Yeah. Well, my 10-year-old she has like the conscience as big as the United States, and so she'll tell you everything. Her sister, she can't get away with anything if Kennedy's around, which is why usually Carson doesn't want Kennedy around.
I think that's a good thing, though. When they want to talk to you and tell you things. Yeah. I hope that doesn't stop.
Yeah, most definitely.
Although the other day I was asking, we were sitting there eating breakfast. Ryan made cinnamon rolls. We're sitting there and I'm asking her, you know, are you excited about your last day at preschool? You know, what are you going to do? You're supposed to have a party. She goes, how about we just eat our cinnamon roll, Mom?
Oh, gosh.
I was like, oh, you're only 3 and you're already telling me to be quiet.
Well, Wyatt, yesterday was water day, water and outside play at preschool, and he doesn't like to wear shorts. And so I picked out jeans, and they like send them in something dirty and something they can get wet in. And I'm like, okay, well, I picked this holy pair of jeans and a short sleeve t-shirt. And he's like, Mom, I want a long sleeve t-shirt. And I'm like, honey, it's outside play day. It's going to be hot. You don't want to get there's water activities. What kind of water activities? I said, well, I really don't know. I'm thinking like the water table. I mean, all the other kids, shorts, swimwear. Wyatt's out there in a long sleeve shirt, John Deere boots, and jeans. Yes, my kid. So I said, when he got home, I'm like, so how was outside day? What'd you do for water play? I didn't play in the water. I just played in the sand. I said, all right. You didn't do anything else. He's like, I said, what else did they have there? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay.
So subject, Mom.
Yeah. And we were just he was just, for the first half of preschool, he pretty much was like that. And the teachers were like, he really doesn't play with the other kids and he just kind of hangs out by himself. And then they were so excited one day to tell us that, he started playing with the other kids and started getting involved in the activities. And then he's like, nope, I'm just over there by myself. I'm not going to do water day. I'm going to go out in 87-degree weather in my long sleeve shirt and jeans and my boots.
Oh my gosh.
He's a country boy. That's what he told us. I'm a country boy, Mama.
Yeah, Ashlyn wore her boots yesterday with her little skirt. And I said, don't you want to put some sandals on? It's kind of warm out today. She goes, my boots make me happy. I was like, okay, boots it is.
At least you know, right?
Hey.
Yeah. Just comfortable
That's
in our
all
own
it takes,
skin, right?
Yeah,
exactly. So I want to talk about my visit to Rescue Ranch. This is summer number 3, right? It's 2016. Yeah.
Golly, yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
Goes by quick.
Yeah. I'm so mad at myself for not getting there sooner. So very cool place. And we saw it after hours. And so I'm sure the experience is different when you have all these things going on and you're doing the school classes and teachings and visitors coming in. But and we were talking about snakes earlier and the fact that you want to get some different types of snakes. You said that you want to get some smaller snakes for people that aren't used to snakes, which was me. But I think I would rather hold a bigger snake because, like, you can get away from the head. Like if you put this little baby snake in my hand, I'd be like, I think it bite me easier.
Yeah, but their mouths are like so little.
So it's just going to hurt a little.
Yeah. I mean, you get a splinter.
And it's not going to, like,
is that going to keep you from holding the wood?
It could. No, I'm just kidding. You remember, you're much more braver that you've been doing this. I mean, you've throwing out all these names of snakes and carrying on, but it was a really cool experience.
I'm glad you guys made it up.
Yeah, to hold those and just the way they feel. And everybody was on my Facebook like, oh my God, you held a snake. And of course, we're not going to go out and hold a copperhead outside, right? But it's that season for them. They're abundant.
Now, it's actually one of my favorite classes to teach at the ranch is when we do our snakes, just because I like that reaction from people. Yeah. And then I like the reaction after when I've been holding it and, they get to touch it and it's not slimy and, they might still have a little bit of a fear, but maybe it's a little bit less because they've learned something about it. I think a lot of times, my kids have been holding snakes since they were, Brooklyn, I think, started at about 15 months when we started getting the animals in for the ranch. So, yeah, she's been holding snakes. She has no fear. I have to teach her that you can't go out in the wild and just start picking them all up. Yeah. It's probably not a safe thing to do. But they don't have a fear, and I think a lot of times the parents pass the fear down onto the kids. Yeah. So it's always interesting for me to see the changes in their behaviors and kind of what they think.
Yeah. So what's a week for you at the ranch? You're there.
Oh, it's different every day. Yeah. Yeah. I try and be there every day. Some days are this week is a little more hectic just because with race fans coming in, we're doing a lot more tours and programs, and I've had a lot of off-site stuff this week, so it's been a little bit different, but for the most part, I try and get there every day, whether it's doing stuff outside, helping with the animals. It's just, you never know. I don't have a typical week. I'm a hot mess. If I didn't have my Google Calendar and everything on there, I'd be in trouble.
You might be a hot mess inside here, but you come across very well put together.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I try.
Yeah. So you have specific times up there for tours, so folks can visit during your hours that you're open and just come in for the tour types.
Yeah, we tried now to do some stuff by appointments because if we do our field trips, we've got maybe 100 kids in the building at one point in time. It's really hard for the staff to break away from that and do a tour. So we are trying to ask people to come online and sign up or just call and see what's available. But for the most part, on the weekends, Saturdays are busy with birthday parties and a lot of Girls and Boy Scout programming. So we're definitely growing fast.
So what's the ultimate goal when you had this vision in mind? I know you've been involved with animals for a long time, so.
My ultimate goal is to create a place that's self-sustaining. You know, with the animal centers, a lot of them are just going off of funding, what they can raise. I'd like a place that has fees for service and different things that it can be run as a business. I feel like animal industry should be run as a business. But I also really see the education side, and something that's lacking and something nobody else is doing is teaching these kids hands-on experiences with the animals, teaching them the respect for the animals, what their care is. You know, you don't just think you're going to get one and then not be able to take care of it. I think we discussed the rabbits at your house.
I got 2 rabbits in my house. That's an ongoing struggle every day. Is like, Kennedy, have you cleaned the rabbit's cage? Kennedy, have you fed the rabbits? Oh, no, I forgot.
Yeah, it's
Kennedy,
hard,
did you change their water?
They look cute and snuggly, and you want to play with them, but they also come with a responsibility. And just teaching kids respect and compassion for animals and getting them outside. You know, we've got a great piece of property and beautiful woods, and it's a safe place that kids can come out and explore the outdoors. We're working really hard right now on putting everything together so we can do a playground, and it'll have some special needs equipment on it. So that's kind of the next step for us, and just getting the campus where we want it to be. I have a huge vision for this place, and you know, Ryan's always like, you got to slow down.
Takes time.
I am not a patient person, and I like things done really quick. There's probably a big character flaw other than being late, that I like things done quickly. So I like to see things moving and the ranch building, but it's going fast, and it's nice to see people starting to understand what we're doing and appreciate it and want to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the experience to go up there and check it out. And by doing so, I think, you know, more interest in it and what you guys are about, so that they can help you fund that growth.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people think when they hear rescue, they think, oh, well, we've got cats and dogs, and we work with a lot of groups that do, you know, adoptions. But right now we take the animals in to use them in our programs. Eventually I'd like to do an adoption center, but I really feel like we're teaching them why the animals need to be rescued on a fundamental level, not just, oh, yeah, well, we bring them in, we adopt them out. I think there's a whole lesson of an education behind why rescue is even what it is right now.
Yeah. When we were there, you had one little fawn that got caught up in a neighborhood without its mom. What you up to right now?
Oh, Lord. I don't even know. I think 15.
And that's nuts.
Yeah.
It was just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's
that
more,
season.
You know, it's not even, it's part of, we'd like to roll it into the ranch at some point. Right now, it's just kind of something Ryan has started. Yeah. He likes to do the rehabilitation. And he and I started doing it before we had kids, when we had a lot more time. And then now we have to hire somebody to kind of run it full time. But we did it on our farm, and we still use our farm kind of as a second location, and then it's also on, you know, part of the property that we own that the ranch uses. And it's a full-time job from May to September, October of taking care of these babies.
Yeah.
I think 71 at one time is what we had last year.
Yeah, that's nuts. In Ohio this past weekend, we visited one of the farmers up there that does some work, and it's calf season too, you know, in the last couple of months, and he had a baby calf that he was bottle feeding. Its mom didn't make it through birth, and I mean, you just walked up and put your hand out, and it just started sucking on all your fingers. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Wyatt wouldn't get near it, but
slobber kisses.
Yeah, slobber. It's pretty cool. So that exists, you know. It's somebody's got to take care of these babies.
We have 3 baby buffalo calves.
Those were so cool, and your other buffalo very protective.
Yes. I actually was all excited last night.
So you just had 2 born since we were there. You just had 1 when we were there.
Yeah, they had them last week, I think, and they always have them in the worst weather. I don't think I understand that, but it could be like thunder and lightning, and they're gonna have a calf.
Do you generally know when, you know, they're? I mean, I know it's hard to tell when they're gonna like actually push it out, but have you been able to be a part of that or?
No. One of our cows I have. Yeah. But I have not seen the buffalo birth. Ryan filmed. It's really gross. Ryan filmed a little bit of the pre-stuff the other day. He's like, I think we're going to have one tonight. And sure enough, it was rainy and nasty, and we didn't get back over there, but we had a new calf in the morning. Yeah. Sometimes you're just doing a head count, and you're like, wait a minute.
There's something.
There's another little head there.
This particular baby calf, the farmer found the mom, you know, laying out in the pasture, and he feels like he just got there right at the right moment to even save the baby. So those are, and he had another one that he had pinned up that he thought was going to maybe birth that night. And we're like, call us if it's not after 9 or 10 o'clock. Call us so we can come over and watch it. I only see that stuff on Dr. Pol. So
yeah, I know. Hey, he's taught me a lot of like signs to look for if the mom is in distress. We actually watch that show. It's one of those shows Ryan and I can watch together that we're not completely bored with the other person's option. But yeah, I think I've learned a lot as far as like having cows and knowing what to look for. And being like, oh, that one, we gotta call our vet.
I know, it seems like every time I watch it, that's kind of what they're working on is cows. They work on a lot of big animals. I don't get to watch it that often, though.
Animals they're amazing creatures. The buffalo, it surprises me how protective the whole herd is of the other ones. And then last night was the first night I got a shot of our first calf that was born. She came like running over, and the mom was like snorting at me, like I'm taking a picture, whether you like it or not.
Exactly. Every time, Dale has a few buffalo, and when you approach the fence, they think it's feeding time, and so they come, and then you're like, well, I don't have anything, and then they look at you, and if you make any kind of wild moves, they can really get excited fast. Yeah. I love to watch them run, though.
Oh yeah.
I love to watch them run.
Ours are bucket trained. If they ever kind of get out, they'll follow the white buckets that we have because they know there's apples in them. So if you drive through with a truck or a golf cart on there and have the white buckets, it's the whole herd running after you.
Ours got out once when a helicopter came to get Dale, and it just where they were standing and where it came in, it was just not the right thing happening at the right time. And they
you
just
don't
kind
think they can jump, but they can.
Yeah.
One of ours jumped the fence.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my word, that big thing can jump.
Yeah. It's crazy. We think our rabbit jumped our cage. It's probably about 3 feet. I mean, it's an enclosure for a rabbit, so you would think that it could contain them. But yesterday, Kennedy heard this like loud racket, and she went back there, and one of the rabbits was out on the other side of the cage. She's like, "Did you just jump that 3 feet thing?"
Oh my word.
Yeah, I wouldn't think. I mean, I know they have long legs, but not that long. So what's up next? You talked about the playground. That's kind of the next focus at the ranch. And
that's one thing. The kids are playing kind of in a field right now after our program, so I'd like to be able to have a playground for them, some places they can play on the equipment. But I feel like there's a need. We've talked a lot about doing specialty camps. We run summer camps right now, so the third year we're filling up quickly, which is nice. I mean, that's definitely progress for us, and it's good to see. But we would like to add a special needs camp, Down syndrome and spina bifida, and not exactly what Victory Junction does, but just having some things that meet the needs in the community, because they don't have equipment, but the flooring's not right in other playgrounds. So we really want to work with some people in the industry and get them the equipment that they can use to help build their muscle development and hopefully give them an opportunity to play and be a part of what we do at the ranch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I want to have something everybody can kind of come and enjoy.
You mentioned the camps, so you have summer camps available. What are the kids? I mean, obviously they're going to learn about the animals and the education. What's some of the fun things that?
I think one of my favorite camps that we do is middle school age, and it's a young vet camp. A lot of kids, and you talk to kids, they want to be veterinarians, but what does that really mean?
Yeah.
So we have a cool program where they come in, and every day we have a different vet that comes in and does a presentation, and then they learn, what does spaying and neutering really mean, and how does that process work, and what's an x-ray, and there's one where they're shown an x-ray and the dog has swallowed something, and you have to try and figure out, we have all these objects in front of them, and they have to try and look at the x-ray and figure out what might be inside that dog.
Oh, cool.
And it's x-rays from that vet, so they get to talk about it and how the animal did after, and they learn all the different facets of what it's like to become a veterinarian. And then we enforce, if you want to be a vet, it is a competitive field. It's hard to get into school. Your grades are really important. So we just try and give them fun opportunities to learn those things. So as they get into high school, they realize how important the grades are.
Yeah, definitely. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you have 6 weeks of camp? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. And we have the option to open up 2 more weeks, depending on what our enrollment is. So.
Yeah. Cool. And you can go to rescueranch.com.
Yep.
All that's there.
Everything is there. Camps. Yeah, we're doing preschool this year, so my kids will be there, even though they're there all the time.
So you do have openings, right?
Yes.
Still
yes.
For
they're filling up, but
yes,
we have like 5 or 6 openings a week, I think.
Very cool. Very cool.
Filling up.
And then you've got another event coming up, the Farm to Table Dinner.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I know. We're going to be in PA. I was like, dang it, we're going to miss this. So talk about that and what you're going to do there.
Farm to Table, we wanted to do something local, and being that we're big on agriculture and where your food is coming from, and we have a whole section of outside animals. So we have all the barnyards, our goats, our donkey, and pigs, and the crabby mini horses, and the cows.
Otis.
Yes. Sweet Otis and Charlie. But it's important to teach the kids where the food's coming from, and we incorporate that into our programming. But we thought it might be fun to do a dinner outside. And friends of ours up in Maryland had the farmers all get together, and everybody brings a little something, and they do a big farm to table. So it's like, that would be kind of cool to do at the ranch, have everybody outside and just keep it a small, intimate number, and, teach people that necessarily in the community wouldn't come otherwise. So it's kind of that opportunity, and we sold out quick.
Oh, so you're sold out for that event?
We are sold out.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
Yes, we sold out within like 3 or 4 weeks of even announcing that we were doing it. So we've already started planning next year's.
I was going to say, yeah.
I'm super excited.
One. Can we do this in the fall?
Actually, I think Truex Foundation is doing one in the fall. So it'd be fun to see that on their director's farm. So
yeah, very cool.
Yeah. We have lots of fun things coming up.
And your big events are usually, you still are doing the dinner in December for the foundation.
And the month of October is really big for us. We do Fall Fun Days. So from October 1st all the way through the entire month, we do school programming's all of it about the fall harvest and all the fun things in the fall. And then during the Thursday night, Friday night, and all day Saturday, we'll have corn mazes and hay rides and all sorts of fun activities for the family. So we'll actually open that part up to the public. So Saturdays, it'll be all day, and then Thursday nights and Friday nights will be the corn maze.
How many people do you have there? Full-time people working on this type of thing.
7 total.
7 people. And volunteer-wise, what your main core, the volunteers that are kind of consistent?
We couldn't do it without the volunteers. I think we consistently probably have 40 people that are true volunteers that have been there quite a bit and help with. But we get volunteers for all different reasons. So we have people that specifically want to do animal care for us. We have people that are retired teachers that just want to come in and help with our homeschool programs or our field trips. Those are, and then
that's what I'm thinking, is just sitting here with the planning out the content, and the messaging that you want to send during these different times of year and for the kids and all that kind of stuff. It's just a lot.
It is a lot. We've got a really good team. I have some awesome people that work at the ranch right now, and they're hands-on any facets. They're willing to jump in, even if it's not necessarily what their job is, they're willing to lend a helping hand. And we have a really good team, and I feel like that's what is going to build the organization as a whole, is you got to have that support behind you.
It's
and then
all
our
about
volunteers, and we have people that, we have one guy that just wants to come in and hold the snakes and take them outside and give them some sunlight, and he just watches the snakes for us. So it's enrichment. And then we have people that just want to work events or do a booth event for us. So every volunteer, no matter what they're interested in doing, has an option to come help in all sorts of different things.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
very awesome.
Yeah, we did a really cool corporate day. We just started doing some of those where Husqvarna brought some employees up for a family day. And we laid stone out, and it was so productive. I was like, oh my gosh, look how much we got done in like
kind of like a
4
habitat
hours.
work day,
we had like
right?
100 people.
Yeah.
And it was fun, and they were all excited that we, allowed them to do that opportunity. I was like, oh my gosh, look how much we got done. You got like 10 things off my list. Ryan's gonna be so excited. You got 10 things off our list. So it's neat, and it's fun interacting with people and to hear their stories and to see kids out in the community that have come through camp or been on one of the field trips or come for a birthday party, to see them out in the community and they remember a certain animal and what we do there. And I was like, okay, this is working. This is why I do it.
Yeah, got to have those reasons, because you can get bogged down.
Yeah, when you come,
especially
hold
when
a snake, I
we're
feel like
impatient,
I've done something.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, you have. I'm not going to be picking up any outside, and I need to get more comfortable. That was just my first introduction.
Well, you think about the little sponges that they are, and the things that they'll remember and comprehend and understand, and to give them some of these experiences, it becomes part of their story. I used to go to this place when I was in school. I went on a field trip. Now my kids are going there, and I want that kind of community feeling for the ranch. Well,
so, we have that experience just from our visit there. We talked about Kennedy, told you guys all about having to go to the zoo on Friday for her field trip that week. And we were excited to go to the zoo, except that we were going to Columbia, a couple hours away, and they picked a Friday. So in my head, I'm like, 77 traffic. We've got all this toll road issue. We're going to have to get down there. And we had to be there for the only part that was going to be kind of group oriented was the lunch from 12 to 1. And then we were kind of on our own for the zoo. And I'm like, really? And then, I'm thinking in my head, like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to leave by 1 or 2 so we can miss traffic. So with all of that being said, the zoo thing for our family just wasn't, just the timing and everything, I wasn't very excited about it. And it ended up getting canceled because of rain. And if we didn't go, the kids were going to have to do a project. And Kennedy was not going to do any more schoolwork, you know. So she's like, Mom, I don't care if we're only there from 12 to 1, we're going. And so we came up to see you guys like either the night before or a couple nights before that. And Kennedy's teacher, she went in the next day and she said, can I do they ended up scheduling a project since we didn't go. Can I do my project on Rescue Ranch? And she was like, absolutely. And it's like the quickest, fastest thing that Kennedy did because it was hands-on. She, you know, had all the knowledge in her head about what she wanted to say. And she was able to do, she took the pictures that we took and did a little slideshow. And then she just got up in front of class and told them all about it. So
that's awesome.
There you go. That's a win, you know. You told
Absolutely.
12, 13, 14 more kids about it and introduced it to, you know, another school or a school teacher or that kind of thing.
Pigs.
Oh, she had pictures of chasing the pigs. Yep. And she made me go online and find some pictures of a few things that we didn't take pictures of because we didn't, for some reason, you know, we were messing with the cows, but we didn't take any pictures, probably because the kids weren't touching them, you know. So I had to go online and find a picture of Otis and something else that we found a picture of. So but you know, that excitement of having the experience and being able just to tell about that was so exciting for her. So
no, I love it.
She did it.
That's why I do it.
There you go. So there's you another story in your hat that you can pull out sometime about you can remember about why you do it.
I'm gonna make her go on video.
Exactly. So what else is happening? Let's see, what else can we talk about? You got anything you want to plug or talk about?
No, I mean the ranch, the kids, Ryan. That's pretty much all I do.
Krissie's life, Ryan, Brooklyn, Ashland Ranch.
Yes, he actually got really upset, so I smashed. Oh, I didn't smash it. I dropped my phone quite a bit because going back to being a hot mess, and he's always yelling at me. So I ended up getting this new case, and I had to get a new phone because my screen was shattered. So after I downloaded the people at the store told me it was the most pictures they've ever seen on anybody's phone, but I have like 30,000 pictures on my phone.
My gosh.
Well, I mean, with the
a lot of storage. I thought I had a lot. I have 9,000 pictures on my phone.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I ended up getting a new phone and had to get a new case, and I put a picture of Otis on the front screen, and then a picture of my kids is like the main screen. And he was all upset that he's like, well, where's the picture of me? The hell, why do I need a picture? I see you all the time. He's like, well, you put a picture of Otis on there and you see him all the time. I'm like, you're jealous of a cow. Like, really? So last night he sends me this picture of himself, like a selfie. I'm like, what is that for? He's like, well, so you can put it on your phone. I'm like, okay.
This is your new screensaver.
Yeah. It's not. I just used it as his contact picture now. But it's like, you're such a goofball.
You should just mess with him and like take pictures to your dashboard or something. You know,
like
next time you get in the car.
He's so into the deer and the turkey hunting. I'm surprised his phone isn't full of pictures of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he.
Did you check his screensaver and see what he had?
No, I didn't. Doesn't bother me.
It's not a competition, right?
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I might go on there now and take a picture, like, I don't know, one of the snakes or something. He seems to love them so much.
He did, yeah.
He can deal with seeing them, but he just doesn't want to touch them.
He kept saying, Krissie, are you going to lock that cage? Are you going to lock that cage? And she's like, no, I'll do it later.
Yeah, he's funny.
Like they were going to get out.
I don't know. Snakes and mice he just never wants to deal with. He had mice in one of his trucks. And he's like, oh, it's in there. It's in there. I was like, just go in and put my hands in there. He's like, what if it bites you? I'm like, then it bites me. I get bit all the time. Things bite me all the time.
You are so brave.
I would be good if as long as it's not a spider. That's my.
Oh, so you don't like spiders?
No.
No spiders.
No, I can't.
How come?
I can't do it. When I was young, I went to summer camp, it was a soccer camp, and came back and I went to, you can put all your stuff away, go to bed that night. And I sleep with my hand under my pillow. Put my hand under the pillow, I felt something move, got on, turned the light on, and there was a wolf spider that had babies under my pillow.
Oh.
And that was it. I couldn't do it ever again.
So we're not going to have any spiders at the ranch.
No, we actually have a lady from the Lake Norman Herpetological Society that has spiders, so she brings them for different programming that we do. So they are in the building for a program, and then they go home with her. I can't do it. It's just my heart rate goes, and I understand, like, people are afraid of snakes the same way. And I can be in the room with them and see them in their containers, and I'm carrying enough to like look at them. But once they move, I just, oh my gosh,
I'm so surprised about that.
It's terrible.
So that's the only thing that kind of gives you the heebie-jeebies about that.
And I try and be good in front of the kids because I don't want them to have the same fears. So I try and be good, and I'm like, okay, well, if it's in the house, it's kind of fair game. But if it's outside, we just let it be.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the rule I've created in my head that seems balanced, but.
Boundaries.
I know. It's tough. But.
So one thing that I had on here that I was going to ask you about, just because we have the opportunity to talk to people, hot buttons in animal, topics as far as what's going on that people can be aware of, or.
Oh well, the big thing talking about Jackson Hole earlier was that poor bison calf that ended up having to be euthanized because people thought it looked cold. It's funny. Ryan's he's sarcastic. He after we had one of the calves.
I hate texting with him.
He showed me some of those before.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
I hate to. I'm like, I'm just
back.
gonna frickin' yeah. Thank God for emojis, because I'm like gonna pick up the phone and call him because I have no idea what he means. Like, is he being funny or is he being serious?
Yeah, he can be like that. But we had one of the buffalo calves born, and he must know I'm talking about him. He's calling me right now.
He can't hear us yet.
No, it was born, and he said. Took a picture of it and he said, I think it looks cold, maybe I should bring it in. I was like, that's not funny.
Yeah,
it's not
people
funny,
just need to let animals be in nature.
They really do. And it's time of year, people are
or
picking
call
up.
Someone knowledgeable,
right?
Like
go to the ranger station and ask. Because it messes with them, and it's sad usually. A lot of times people get upset that they end up having to euthanize them and put it on the park, but they said it themselves. They're not a rescue organization. They don't have the staffing to take care of that.
Right.
So it's kind of tough. And, I've always struggled with national parks sometimes when they don't supplement feed. And, they have issues with the sulfur in the land. There's all this rules and regulations. And I won't bore the people listening with it. But it's sad. And then people get upset about it. And I'm like, well, maybe you should get upset that there's not enough education out there to teach people what they should and shouldn't do. Yeah. It's just like this time of year, you're seeing all the baby geese and the bunnies and everything. And I get calls all the time, well, there's this baby bunny. I'm like, leave it be.
Yeah, it's mom somewhere. Yeah.
I think people just want to take things in.
The process of nature will handle. And, that means birth, living, and death.
Right.
All. And it will cycle and handle itself,
Right.
So
and I think people just
feel
alone. Like, I need to take care of this because it's little and it's alone.
Yeah.
But you got to really understand that mama's there.
Yeah.
And especially with the fawns. A lot of the fawns that end up coming into our rehab program are kidnapped. People see them and think that the mom's not there because she's over, watching in the woods, trying not to attract predators to her child.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, it's been abandoned. I need to take it in and love on it and keep it in my house. And then Sunday night we get the phone call, I have to go back to work and I have this baby fawn. And we're like, oh man, you should just let it be. Mom comes back. Unless she's hid or something like that, then it's a different story. But there's a lot of them that just people pick up. They think they've been abandoned and they're not.
It's kind of more about maybe needing to be educated, and that's kind of the rule of the world these days on so many levels and issues of people, either going to the right source, getting educated about something instead of just thinking that you know what to do or figuring it out,
And we're learning too. There's a lot of things that the staff teaches me, or going to other places. I try all the time when we go on the circuit to find different places around the racetrack that I can take the kids, because I learn different things about how maybe they do something or display something that might work, back at the ranch. And I'm always learning. I'm never too naive to think that I'm not going to learn something in conversation or just from people's stories. So it's just big. Education is what life is about.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. Yeah. Well, cool.
Air 911, what's your emergency?
Well, we have this week's Hair 911 is, do you have weak, limp hair and do you need volume? And so we let our listeners tweet us at Hair 911 and at TG Creatives, and then they'll tell us what the secret is to handle that. And you have nice straight hair too, and you have thin hair, like not a lot of volume hair.
Yeah, I struggle with my hair.
Yeah, me too.
This is probably the first year I've actually learned how to curl it.
Yeah.
But I can't use curling iron.
That's one of the things I love about you, though, because you're very simple.
Yeah. I struggle. I don't really want to take the time. Not that I necessarily shouldn't, but I don't really want to take the time to do the whole makeup thing. And if I can't get ready in 20, 30 minutes, I'm in trouble because I'm out the door, and I'm not a morning person. Yeah. So the whole getting ready thing is just a struggle for me. My cousin taught me how to use a wand. Thank Lord. I've burned myself several times, but I can get it now. And yeah, I'm a hair hot mess.
Yeah, the curls are looking cute today. I'm no better at it. I have to get Carson to help me and teach me, but my hair just doesn't hold things. So I'm this weak limp hair person. And so we had a listener, Jamie Carter, said she struggles with being able to add volume and life to her hair, looking for a good product that will help but don't want to damage her hair. So that's a good balance as well. So the experts at TG have recommended using an Epic Volume shampoo and conditioner. And yeah, we have that. We got a take home for Krissie today on that. So happy days are here again, Jamie. Watch your flat hair disappear as your hair comes back to life with TG's Epic Volume, and it's sulfate free.
Nice.
That's important. Shampoo and conditioner. It'll take your hair to new heights where hair soars and bursts with more bounce to the ounce. And for an added bonus, because TG's Epic Volume shampoo is sulfate free, it'll also prevent your color from fading. So that's all cool.
And it smells good.
Yeah. So Jamie, your struggles are over. You've reached out to TG and we have come to the rescue. And don't forget, you can pick up the Epic Volume shampoo and conditioner at your local Ulta. You can also visit Ulta.com. Don't forget the code TG15. Does it smell good?
You should make a lotion. It smells really good.
You can enter the code TG15 and save 15% off all your favorite TG style products at checkout. So awesome. I need to get me some of that too. Yes. Good
it's
stuff.
It's funny. Speaking of volume, I have a friend that does my hair, and she's this cute little Colombian girl. And she constantly wants to add va-va-voom to my hair. And I'm like, no, you can just dry it straight. I have to go back to the ranch. Like, I don't need to look like the wind's blowing through my hair. And every time it's just like curl crazy. And she, she'll start teasing. I'm like, well, Lily, what are you doing?
Like our hair, it can be styled various ways. It's just that I want to be able to style it in the morning when I get going, right?
Well, it takes extra time. And it's hard when, you got little ones and you're trying to do a bunch of things.
Yeah.
And I mean, the makeup thing is what gets me. Like some people can just look like so flawless, and I'm like, gosh. And they're like, oh, well, I do this whole routine and the concealer, and I'm like, okay, you lost me. Because I'm like tinted moisturizer. I'm out the door.
I'm the same way, totally. And I have very oily skin, so my makeup does not stay on. So yeah, I look at those people too, and I'm like, oh, their skin look like that. It's like, oh, they have to do all these things. I'm not into it.
Yeah.
After lunch, I look at myself and I'm like, did I even put on makeup this morning?
Yeah. Well, eyeliner is always what's gotten me. My eyelashes are so ticklish that it makes me giggle, and then I try and put it on, and 10 minutes later, it's like running down my face. I look like I have a black eye.
Are you pretty ticklish in general? So like pedicure, ticklish?
No, not too bad. Bottom of my feet a little bit, but for some reason I just have sensitive eye. And then I'm allergic to anything that has hair or dander or fur, anything. So I'm constantly
way.
Yeah, I'm allergic.
You're
to
allergic to the very
ranch.
thing that you're so passionate about.
It's always pleasant when people come in and they try and give up an animal to me, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just allergic." And I'm like, yeah, okay. Sure.
Take an Allegra and get over it.
I'm Claritin Clear.
Too funny. All right, we're going to go into rapid fire. One thing that's always in your purse. Yeah,
my phone.
She'll speed it up for us if you take too long.
My phone.
We've talked about this a little bit. Go to your hairstyle.
Straight. Ponytail.
When you wake up in the morning, is your hair pretty straight and
it depends on if I've actually styled it or done something
to it the night before.
If I don't do anything to it, it's pretty much the same. But tomorrow morning, it'll probably be a hot crazy.
It'll be va-va-voom.
Yeah.
Favorite type of animal? I'm interested in this one. Do you have a favorite?
I don't have a favorite. I love them all. Anything but a spider. I don't know. I find different things I like about each one.
Okay, so how about an animal that you want at the ranch that you don't have?
Lemurs.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Fun. They're fairly easy to take care of?
No,
not at all.
No, but I really like them.
Well, I see lemurs. Lazy Five has lemurs, and so
yeah. I like.
Maybe
lemurs.
they'll birth you a few
really
babies
cool.
or something over there. All right, girliest thing your girls can get Ryan to do with them.
Dance.
Oh, is he a good dancer?
No.
I can't imagine that he has any
We had a
moves.
dance, parents' night at dance last night, and they needed a participant, and Brooklyn picked him out. So.
I was going to say, did he volunteer? No.
No.
All right, biggest pet peeve?
Dishonesty.
Perfect one. All right. Well, we want to remind fans, too, we have this Exalta thing going on, and they passed 20,000 followers on Twitter, and so that's step 1 of this Follow Us to Pocono. That's complete, and you can go to step 2 to help them achieve their goal, and someone's going to win $88,000. You can do this too. Absolutely. Perfect grant for the ranch, right?
Playground, here I come.
Yeah, PoconoRaceway.com, and it's /Exalta giveaway. Store this right here, Krissie.
I got it.
Fill out the form to officially enter, and you can win $88,000 if Dale Jr. wins the Pocono Raceway. So you might need to talk to Ryan. And
I don't know, we could use a win.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You could. Might not be worth the $88,000.
Yeah, I do like Dale and everything.
So that's pretty cool. We were trying to figure out an easy grant there going on, but it just might not work.
Well, let's see. Depends on how
depends on how it's working out. Just go ahead and talk with them anyway in case it stacks up the way that it could all work out. And you can go enter Ryan too. Just get you a couple
They'll
entries.
be the second one I pull for.
Okay. Enter all your 40 volunteers and all that good stuff. So help them. Well, this has been fun. I certainly appreciate you coming down.
Thanks for having me.
In the middle of a busy week here. And it's always fun.
Thank you.
We're coming up to hang out more.
I enjoy this because you're not filming me.
I know, right? We talked about that. It's just radio.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have to worry about the way. But look at you.
I had a board
should
meeting.
be filming you.
I was in a meeting earlier, so I have to somewhat look like I know what I'm doing.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us on this week's Fastlane Family.
Thanks for listening to Dirty Mo Radio.